Hello, friends. It's time for part 1.5 of the Banjo trilogy. Let's play Banjo-Kazooie, Grunty's Revenge, the GBA sequel to Banjo-Kazooie. In the timeline, it takes place between Kazooie and Tooie. Joining me are two friends. One of them you know, it's Jesse.
Hey.
And also joining me is Amy.
Hi.
So what is your experience with the Banjo-Kazooie series, Amy?
I played this piece of shit and then never any of the others. These two facts may be related.
Well, you know what I always say? If you're only gonna play one Rareware game, make it either Grab by the Ghoulies or Grunty's Revenge.
Oh, I've also played Grab by the Ghoulies! Those are the two Rareware games I played.
This is a tragedy.
I've heard Ghoulies is actually a pretty good game. It just didn't sell well.
This song kinda sucks, huh?
Oh yeah.
This is what they opened on. This fucking blows, actually.
If this were a Japanese game, this would be called Banjo-Kazooie Zero.
Banjo-Kazooie Gaiden. I don't think it's canon. It's never mentioned by any other game, so I think it's not canon. So, one day, Rareware said, "Do you think we could make a Banjo-Kazooie game on GBA?" And nobody stopped to ask, should we do that?
And it turns out they couldn't make one.
I mean, they did. Like, for what it is, it works as well as it could work. It just turns out that as well as it could work isn't very good. This game isn't very good.
Was this game before or after that weird, wave of, platformers making really bad GBA games, like the Spyro and the Crash Bandicoot ones that were awful?
I'm not sure because I don't remember when the Spyro and Crash Bandicoot GBA games came out.
I think that era was just the entire GBA era. I think that's all of it.
This game did come out after Microsoft purchased Rareware, which is why you may have noticed in the opening credits crawl, THQ was in there. They're the ones who published it.
Oh.
Yeah. And now they're out of business. Coincidence? Probably because it was years later that they went out of business.
Well, it probably is a coincidence because I'm willing to bet this game probably sold a lot despite the fact that it's not very good.
Yeah, it probably sold pretty well. Yeah, THQ published like all their GBA games.
The Game Boy Advance was kind of... It was sort of epitomized by people buying and having nostalgia for some very bad games, because it's like, oh, I can play the video games on the go.
Yeah.
That's why people still remember Golden Sun, even though that game wasn't very good.
Also, a fun thing with this game is that it originally started development on the Game Boy Color, and they ended up moving it to this.
I can't imagine that.
That would have been even worse.
Oh yeah, unless maybe the limitations of the platform would have caused them to make something like completely different. Like maybe it would have been a 2D platformer or something and could have been decent.
But then there was the Oddworld game for Game Boy Color, which was also really bad.
By the way, I hate the way this game
Something
sounds.
awful.
I hate the way this game looks.
I don't know, my ears are more insulted right now.
Yeah, like, you may notice that all of the trademark Banjo-Kazooie mumbles are really bad in this game and, like, super repetitive.
Gotta save space somehow.
And also, the BGM tracks aren't great. Like, some of the compositions are okay in this game, but none of them are high enough quality to be something you want to hear.
Maybe we'll get remastered versions of them someday.
Yeah. When they re-release this game in HD on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh wait, does this mean we get to see, like, Mumbo pre-curse?
They forgot that plot point.
Oh,
That was a thing that was mentioned in the Banjo-Kazooie manual, and it was never brought up again. And if it weren't for the fact that Rareware are English and wrote the manual, I would say that it was something that was made up by the translators.
oh,
No, you have
But
to
it
translate
wasn't,
these games
because-
into American.
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be great if the American manual just added all of that. Like, well, this weird British plot isn't gonna work. We gotta add some drama.
That would be a thing that happens, though. British flippin' productions are always way more obsessed with, like, weird, mundane drama.
The original
It's a
British
damn shame
version.
the original British Banjo-Kazooie was actually a very deep and serious drama about working class struggles.
Alright, so we're in control now. It's a banjo game. We have
That's what
8 million
buys from
movement.
those kicks.
We can jump. We can jump. That's what we can do right now. We have lost everything except for our ability to jump.
Okay, so I can't really accurately judge for the screen share, but how many frames would you say you have right now?
What do you mean?
Like, does this game run okay?
Oh yeah, it runs fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
it-
actually attest to that. It might just be
It's
the
a
screen
banjo
share
game.
making
You've
it look like
got
it.
your
Yeah.
view total screen and everything.
Just from my perspective on this
No.
end of the screen share, it's hard to judge. So I wanted to make sure,
Yeah, it
because
runs
there are
fine.
some games.
A big issue with this game is it's extremely hard to judge depth perception.
Yep.
Which makes the platforming extremely difficult in parts because there's no depth perception and you have no idea what's happening at any given time.
You've always got your shadow, right?
Yeah, it helps, but not always. Like, you'll see how bad it gets. The fucking... The fucking mumbles are so bad at this game. Alright, so we've learned the pack whack. We can whack
the-
with our pack.
What's that tentacle?
Oh, it just came out of a thing. It's there.
Banjo is such a polite creature that the idea of smacking things with his backpack never came to mind.
So here's where this is a good example of the depth perception. It looks like you would just be able to jump up here unless you go down where you can tell how tall it is.
Oof.
Like, this
I
is the
wonder
sort
if
of thing
it's-
that happens throughout this entire game. It's just like, I didn't realize that was taller because I couldn't see the bottom of the platform.
I wonder if it's a problem with the isometric perspective or if the isometric perspective is just done really badly.
Probably a
both.
little bit of both. We climb? Yeah, we can't even climb. Like, we can't do anything. We start with the ability to jump. And that's
I do
it.
like the implication that Bonsai knows absolutely nothing about Banjo and is just sizing him up and giving him ideas for like random things to try out.
You tried hitting people with your backpack.
I think Bonsai just comes out and is trying to be tried running. It's when you move your legs faster. And Banjo goes, "Thank you, wise old man."
Oh, I never knew that.
So, the Jinjo Oracle, if we bring Jinjos to it, we can get information.
That's nice.
They're hints. They're not very good or useful or necessary hints, but they're there.
I get lost in this sprawling maze of a game.
Also, hollow honeycombs are still a thing. Just like
More
in the
necessary
last
than
game
ever.
we played. This is something from Tui. This has a 2 on it. It gives us 2 HP.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Bonsai. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Alright.
And there's also roulette honeycombs that he's telling us about that we'll get eventually.
That seems like a bit of a
They
pain.
suck. They're a bad idea.
Yeah, they're bad. They're in Tui, and they're bad there, and they're worse here. I think this guy might even have one. Yeah, so this exclamation point, you can see it moves along, and we hit A to stop it.
Oh, God.
It should be noticed that if you're at full HP and you stop it beforehand, you will lose that HP.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it can be
bad.
handy. Anyway,
That's
here's a
such
Jiggy
bad
and a character from Banjo-Tooie. See, this takes place between Kazooie and Tooie, but it was made after Tooie, so it has some stuff from Tooie in it. But we
That's
have to go in timeline order, it's important.
Yeah.
I got the Banjo Historia, and it said that this game is the second one in the series.
So is this where the timeline splits?
Yeah,
Okay.
since it's about time travel, the timeline splits, and in the ending where Banjo fails to save Kazooie, he goes on to race in Diddy Kong Racing, and that's why she's not in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the one that leads on to Banjo 2 is the one where Banjo discovers how to tap into the morphogenetic field.
Yeah. So the first dungeon's right there, or first level.
Dungeon?
Level.
Okay.
I called it the wrong thing by mistake.
No, I think.
I mean,
most
like,
of
look at
game
this
could be called
top-down
dungeon.
perspective. It's like a Zelda game, right?
Yeah.